Alright, hello everybody. It's Ophelia Dragon from Atomic Monsters here from doing my second video today. I have something a little special lined up. I did something a little bit on the spikish end of things last video. I'm going to go a little more casual because I wanted to hit on a specific point. I have in front of me, I have a seizures and a salad. I wanted to talk about my early days playing Magic when I was a lot newer to it. I started in Ice Age, and I got this idea to build a deck based around the pun of Caesars and Thalid, making a Caesar Thalid. And the entire point in the entire deck was just to play a Thalid and get a Caesars on it. And I learned really quick that even though that's literally all I wanted to do, and to me that was my win con, it was just getting seizures on a Thalid. After that, I would concede and not care what happened for the rest of the game. I needed to get stuff in the deck that would make it more reliable for me to make that happen. I needed ways to find the Thalid, ways to protect the Thalid, ways to find the seizures, ways to protect the seizures, get them both in play at the same time, and stay alive through that process. And that's just like two simple 1 mana and a 2 mana spell. Back in a time when like every deck had 4 bolts or 4 swords to plowshares. So what I wanted to talk about today is more casual-minded decks with a more of a casual theme, or you have an idea of something you want to do that's not necessarily competitive. It may be more on the silly, maybe based around a pun. Maybe you have just you want to play all 1-drops in your deck, or you just have a creature type that's really obscure and hard to do anything with, like you want to build a bear deck or a goat deck, or any deck for that matter. And I just want to talk about the idea of just because a deck is full of more casual ideas or something silly doesn't mean that it doesn't deserve to be optimized to make that idea happen more reliably and effectively. Because even if your goal is literally just to play a Thalid and put a seizures on it and say, I'm good, that's it, I won, I did exactly what I wanted. In order to get to that point, you need to be able to find the parts, build the resources you need for your board to get there, survive through whatever your opponent is doing, and answer the stuff that they're doing at the same time. So, I was in a game about a week ago, and I mentioned somebody wanting to build a deck that's just all 1-drops, and they literally their deck was all 1-drop merfolk, which is cool. But they were the idea to them that they can optimize their deck just to make sure that they can get all the 1-drop merfolks in play and make them do things. They weren't having it, which is really weird because they also played a couple 2 and 3-drop merfolks. So obviously the idea of making their merfolk stick did mean something. The idea of making their deck work did mean something, but somehow they just weren't being able to wrap the idea around having extra card draw or the odd counter spell or removal spell just to stabilize their game and make their strategy more sound. You can have a deck which on the power level scale is based around something that should place it right at the bottom of the tier lists, and have it based around something really silly, really Vorthos, and still make it be a playable deck that, while it may not win, or ideally you'd like it to win, but it may not win, but you at least feel like you're accomplishing something while you're playing it, and you're not just flipping a coin and hoping that your ideal situation happens. Now, the deck that we're actually playing is an Enrage deck. This is a Marath Will of the Wild deck that plays around with the Enrage mechanic. Now, you can build this deck pretty cheap. Most of the parts that are in this deck are really cheap. Oh, hold on here. Toffee, my friend's cat that we're fostering, is being all up in my business, and if you hear any purring, that's what's happening. Toffee is trying to help. Most of the stuff here is relatively easy to acquire and cheap. There's, of course, stuff on the expensive end. You may not be able to get a Gaia's Cradle. You may not be able to get a 3 visits. You may not be able to get a Sylvan Library, for instance, or a Mana Crypt, or a Mox Diamond, or any of the dual lands. But honestly, you could build this deck without most of that. There's a lot of other easy mana fixes. In fact, you might have an advantage for running more basic lands just simply because of ranging raptors. You could get away, for instance, with Carven Caryatid. The fact that it has a 3 toughness means it'll survive most of the time through earthquake effects, like pinging for 1. So that's not that big of a deal. There's other mana search options. You could be running a Fertilid. This is actually a good deck to try a Fertilid, and I actually considered it. Get an idea of what enrage effects we have. Stuff that triggers off of being dealt damage. We have, starting with Veteran Explorer, which is really easy to ping off with Marath. The reason I picked Marath specifically is because of the deal damage option. Where else we have? We have, as a possible win con, we have Frilled Death Spitter, which also serves as removal for Planeswalkers too. Hornet's Nest, technically, even though it's not Enrage, it does have an Enrage type of trigger. Ravenous Daggertooth is important. It's actually important to have a couple of these life gain effects. Taminoa works really well with Ravenous Daggertooth as well. Siege Ceratops is a really important effect because it grows when it has damage done to it. Ranging Raptors finds you land and is actually one of the most important pieces to the puzzle. Boros Reckoner and Spite-Mare allow you to redirect damage, and that's actually really important. Forerunner of the Empire is really good because it allows you to find key dinosaurs, and it also serves as a trigger for Enrage. Cacophodon is actually really important because it allows you, with Cacophodon and Pyrohemia, you can have an infinite damage combo as long as you can also put +1/+1 counters on it with stuff like Rite of Passage, for instance. We have Snapping Sailback in here. All sorts of stuff that just, like, when it's dealt damage. Ripjaw Raptor's really good. You get triggers. Plus all sorts of ways to damage things. But yeah, that's one of the combos in here. There's a couple little combos in here. Literally the first game I ran this, I pulled off the Pyrohemia combo with Cacophodon. And what was it? There's a I think I had Rite of Passage with it. So basically, I would Pyrohemia. 1 damage would be done to the Cacophodon. It would untap the mountain that I used to do the Pyrohemia, and it would put a +1/+1 counter on the on the Cacophodon. Plus, I had something to offset the life loss. I was gaining life. Another combo in here is Polyraptor, and you run that. Where is it? Ether Flash, there it is. Polyraptor with Ether Flash and Porphyros. And you just win. Because the Polyraptor comes into play, triggers Ether Flash. Ether Flash does 2 damage to it, which creates another Polyraptor, and each one of them does damage to your opponent. Just 1 second here. Sorry about that. More pets getting into things, and I still don't have the whole video editing thing figured out, so I apologize for that. Now your triggers for Enrage in here are, you have Tremors, the aforementioned Forerunner of the Empire is in here. Tremors is really good, quick trigger. Breath of Deragaz, which if you could kick her, it'd actually just wipe out a lot of stuff. It's a good mini board wipe. Volcanic Spray is in here because it has flashback, and Yamabushi Storm is good because you could use it to exile a lot of stuff that you don't want to come back. You have stuff like Heroic Intervention and Boros Charm to keep things alive. Other triggers you have are Fire Ants, which you can tap to do damage to everything except itself. And you have Shake the Foundations, which is in here because it cycles effectively, replacing itself. Warmonger I found really effective. A lot of the times people don't really want to activate it, and it also serves as a really political card too, because people have to make the choice whether or not they want to use it, and it kind of can slow the game down. Walking Ballista, plus your own commander, are able to set things off as well. And Desert. You're going to find that a lot of tech in this deck involve around ways to set off your Veteran Explorer. I had a game the other day where I went first turn Veteran Explorer, second turn Desert Swing, and then on the damage resolution, I killed my Veteran Explorer and then played a whole bunch of spells that turn, right on turn 2. And it was really, really strong. Anyways, let's take this into a game. I'm actually going to get a lobby started, because sometimes they can take some time to start. Maybe just join this game. And while we're waiting for that, I'll talk more about the deck. And tutors are important, if you can get them. Like Enlightened Tutor and oh, it started. Here we go. Other shout out to Basilisk Caller, which literally turns a lot of things like even Marath into just a board wipe. Yes, we would like to play first. How is this hand? I don't have any ramp, but we do have a Ripjaw Raptor and a Tamanoa. I find this is good. What are we placing? Borborgimos, Tuvasa, and Nekusar. Nekusar is going to be a pain. Though I can gain a bunch of life. Let's see if we can find a nice top deck. Would be some sort of ramp spell, just to get a little bit ahead here. But otherwise, I'm probably going to be looking at either Tamanoa or my commander on turn 2. This deck does reasonably well. It doesn't win every game, but I find I win between 60 and 80% of games with this deck. But I do have a relatively small sample size with it, so that's mostly guesswork. I haven't played as many games as I have with my Brea deck that I was showcasing in my last video. One thing I really wish that they would fix is this. How whenever anything moves off the stack, it closes all your open zones. And that's just absolutely a pain in the butt. And there's literally no reason for it to do that. We're gonna play Windswept Heath, because I want to find a red mana. I think my 4-drop is actually, if I can find another red source, is probably going to be this, the Ether Flash. What I wound up having to chase down a few minutes ago with the pets was Toffee, the kitty I mentioned earlier, was pushing stuff off of the bar onto the floor for the dog, and it was stuff the dog shouldn't be allowed to have, like candy wrappers. We had one of those big, huge packages of mini O. Henrys. Now, it was empty, because all the O. Henrys were dumped into the bowl, but the big, huge wrapper was sitting on the bar, and Toffee threw it onto the floor so that Freya could get it. Actually been seeing a lot of Nekasar lately, which is really weird. Because with the emergence of Smothering Ties, Nekusar has been having a much harder time. So it's weird that people are playing Nekusar. We will get a stopping round. I think it's important for the long term to get this down. Burgeoning is such a strong open. It's funny though. First turn Burgeoning is still there only at 2 mana. There's an argument for running Unquestioned Authority somewhere in this deck, simply because some of our ways of triggering and rage come from creatures. So you can literally prevent stuff from dying, but you're also preventing them from getting triggers. Looks like they found a land off of the Unquestioned Authority. So ideally, I want to top deck a red source, so I can drop down this Ether Flash. That's my goal. I'm actually going to go with the desert. I'm going to play this Ripjaw Raptor. That way next turn, if I need to, I can swing with it and then just desert it. I think Ripjaw Raptor is really good. It's 4/5 for 4 mana that draws you cards. Problem is, people aren't often going to attack into it, or they're not often going to block it unless they can kill it. So that makes its value a lot more subtle. It makes it a little harder to read. It's an unseen effect in that way. When stuff changes the way people attack and the way people play their spells, sometimes it can feel like it has no impact on the game. So I think Ripjaw Raptor is being underplayed in Commander because of that. And I think it's actually a pretty good card. That's good. I'm actually happy to see him do that. This is strong. If I can get the mana for it, there's a really good chance it just won't be in my hand at that point. They want a red mana source is what I want. There we go. I'm happy with that. So we're going to get this Ether Flash down. Now, Desert says activate this ability only during the end of combat step. So if you're going to be playing with it, you need to remember to set a stop on your end of combat step. So now we're going to attack. And I'm going to go over to Castron. Can't attack here because of the Ghostly Prison. So we'll go over there. And draw a card. Now I really want to get this Tamanoa down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'd like to draw a Soul Ring or an Ancient Tomb this turn. Assuming I don't get Wheel of Fortune. So I can cast this Silverclad Ferocidon. It will then trigger Ether Flash, and everybody will have to sacrifice a permanent. That would be a nice draw this turn. Alternatively, it would be really sweet to draw Purphoros as well, because I could then... actually, if I have 8 mana, I can literally just get an entire board of Polyraptors. It would crash the game, though. Because I would literally get infinite Polyraptors and it would be unbroken. No way to break that trigger. Actually like to find a good earthquake effect of some sort, so I can do some damage and kill off this Tuvasa, or at least get rid of the Enchantress. One thing that's really great about Marath is that Marath gets bigger the more times that you cast her, so she scales with the game, which is a really, really good thing. Ooh, that's really sweet. Alright, so I want to get this township in play, first of all. Oh, this is iffy. I think I actually go like this. Just gain some life. Green. Kind of wanted to get this Smothering Tithe out to deal with Nekusar, but I decided that this might actually be smarter. Get some ramp. We're going to get a mountain, because this deck likes having some red. Then we're going to swing at this Garuk. And then we're going to draw a card. Oh. Now, assuming we're probably going to get Wheel of Fortune here. But if we don't, this is pretty busted. Don't have the mana for both. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Yeah. No way. Probably not going to get that to happen. I feel like that wasn't necessarily a good choice there. Drawing a bunch of cards with a Nekusar out and no way to play any of those. I guess, yeah, you toss all the lands at the Nekusar. So we have a substantially better chance that we're not going to get Wheel of Fortune. Which is good. I really want to get this down. Throwing everything at Stark's face? Wow. That's bizarre. I guess because of the ghostly prison. I'd love to draw my Gaia's Cradle. That would be awesome. I think that would do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3, 4, 5, 6. No, I'm still short. Some damage done to my Raging Raptor would be nice. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. I think that's my play this turn. Played about 6 games with this deck, maybe 7. This is the first time I've ever had a chance to play the Silverclad for Rosidon. So I'm really curious. Oh, good. That's gone. That saves the trouble. Really curious what Nekusar is going to be doing this turn. We know they have Sky Scribbling in hand. Usually tells me they're kind of on the budget end. So I'm not expecting to see a Time Twister from a deck that's running, or a Time Spiral from a deck that's running Sky Scribbling usually. Okay, so they're looking to drop Nekusar next turn, probably. Let's do some things. Get rid of that. Alright, so I think I want to find land. So let's kill Garuk. Send 7 at Crimson. Kill Garuk. So if we make it to our turn without having to discard Polyraptor, then we just win. You're just going to slam your commander down again? Yep. So the important things in play here right now are this Perforos and the Ether Flash, and keeping my hand. Those are the things that matter. So I want these to stay in play, and I don't want to get wheeled. If that happens, then we probably win, failing there being some sort of path to exile in someone's hand or something. Oh, there goes my volcanic spray, probably. So the best, yeah, there we go. That's the best target. So no wheel. Don't wheel, please. That'd be real nice of you. Oh my god. Really? So, that should be game. Didn't have to work too hard for this one. Didn't even have to tutor for anything. Just value and drew into it. There's more interactions in this deck I want to see. Maybe talk about. So I'm going to run a second game. It always feels bad when you're playing Nakusar and the best you can do on a turn is drop a Force Fruition on an empty board. That's just asking to lose. I'm stacking these wrong is what I'm doing. Should be stacking them with Ether Flash first so the Perforos resolves. Apologies for making everybody sit through a semi-lengthy combo here, especially with the stacking everything in the wrong order like I was, just making it longer. That's what I like to see. And people are happy to see other people's decks working and see cool things. If that Nekusar deck was any better, this wouldn't be happening. I can admit that. That's a lot of Polyraptors. Alright. So let's put up a second game. I'll just go back and talk to the deck while we wait for that to fill. So as you saw, this deck has a lot of synergy, and it's based around the idea that you need a lot of interaction, a lot of ways to find your answers and your combo pieces and your tools. And it's a silly idea, but you need things to make it work. You need ways to find it. You need ways to ramp into it. You need ways to answer stuff and control the board in order to make even the sillier, more casual, or even janky things work. Because your idea is to have fun. That's what you go into the game for. That's what you design your deck for. And you can have this janky idea and want to have fun with it. But if you never get to play any of those cards, then you're just not going to have any fun at all. So you need, if you want to play like an Enrage deck, you need to find ways to find pieces. You need ways to protect them with stuff like Heroic Intervention and Burrow's Charm. You need ways to interact with the rest of the board. And that's one of the things I find people miss the most in Casual, and they often get mad the most, is when people interact with their board. Is the people I find who tend to get the saltiest are the people who don't seem to have ways to deal with what their opponents are doing and get mad when you answer the things that they're doing. you just can't play that way. No matter how casual and low key you want to keep things, you need to be able to remove somebody's ghostly prison if you can't attack through it. If you're playing an aggro deck, you need to be able to get through. If somebody can fog repeatedly, that fog that allows you to sacrifice a land. I'm completely brain farting on the name at the moment. A lot of aggro decks just lose to that, and it usually when people make a deck that's strictly aggro, they're usually playing kind of on the casual end of things. You need a way to get rid of that, to stop that from happening. As simple as making someone discard their hand or shuffling it away with like if you're playing mono red, Winds of Change counters that, and it allows you to sort through your deck. Things like that. See how we're slow right now. Any other? Oh, there's one person. Any other games waiting? Nope, just me. You can make casual decks and janky decks. You can make them work. You can make them fun, and you can do it cheap. This is like I said earlier, with the exception of the mana base and maybe the Wheel of Fortune and the Sylvan Library, and those are all things that are easily replaced and modified. This is a pretty cheap deck. There's not a lot of money in here, whether you're playing on paper or Magic Online. On Magic Online, this is super cheap. If I took the... Oh, here go. Game starting. I feel like I need one more mana here. And I'm on the play. But if I get it, I'm good. I'm going to keep this. Fumiko. I haven't seen Fumiko in ages. Animar. Good commander. Last Krav Regna deck that I played against was really good. So I'm going to risk this hand. It's got a search card, a good control card. I just need one more land, and I'm good. My best top deck here is either a land or a Soul Ring or 2-mana fetch. Looks like slow start so far. That's good. Just to let you guys know, I stream every Thursday starting at 6 p.m. usually Eastern Standard Time, and I also stream other days of the week, but that's usually the most common. Oh, that's sad. So let's put down this walking ballista. I need green. How sad. I'll put the link for my Twitch in the bottom of the description for this video. There's also my Patreon there to help me build my channel and produce more content. And again, this is Atomic Monsters. We work a lot with like retro toys and games. The reason that you're seeing Magic on here is specifically for Elder Dragon Highlander, because I've been playing Magic since Ice Age, and to me, a large part of my nostalgia and love of gaming goes back all the way back to the birth of Magic, but also early video games too, which I hope to be streaming at some point once I get the proper setup. There we go. I'm glad we played that ballista. I had a feeling. So, let's look at this mana here. I don't want to get blown out, so I'm going to take a green, a red source, put the forest, the mountain in play, and pass. So we need to get that Lightning Greaves off the table. It's the bottom part on Fumiko that's kind of the pain. The top part's not that important. In fact, I kind of nombo with each other. Because Bushido cares about blocking. And if your opponent... I think the idea is your opponent's forced to attack into your stuff. But I literally could just go sideways and over there. I'm gonna get this R shards down probably, and then an Imperial Recruiter. Kill off this Animar. So, white, green, blink. I mathed wrong in my head. So I'm going to wait for them to cast a spell with the trigger on the stack for Animar, and then I'll shoot Animar. Is this guy playing again? Yeah. I feel like sacrificing pawn might be okay here. 2, 3. That gives you 3 mana. Oh, dude, come on. Oh well. That makes that turn a kind of a wash for me. I just hope they don't have something with flash in their hand that they can flash out while I'm trying to kill that. The reason I'm trying to kill it in response instead of preemptively is to cost them a turn. Because if I just killed it on this guy's end step, they can just slam down Animar again. Here, they can't. How do you fail to find a basic land? You only running 2? Were you just salty? I don't know. Alright, so first thing we do is this Imperial Recruiter. Kind of want to get Veteran Explorer here, but I'm thinking maybe Siege Horn. This game feels a lot less lopsided than the last one. I feel bad for that deck. They're kind of dirtling over there. They'll probably be really happy when I sacrifice this Veteran Explorer. That's odd. I can see attacking into me. Why are you attacking him? That's just strange. I'm just going to kill it again. That's cool. White, red, green. Get a red and a white. see if he's actually paying attention. There we go. Now this is a flaw that this deck has, is there's not a lot you can do against flyers. Ha! That's funny. Actually, really happy with that. So Animar right now costs 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They need to draw a land to play it again. Have to see what happens, but I may just hold back to play Snapping Sailback with Flash. Uh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that's what I do. Must say, when they came up with the new foiling process to make all the newer cards look good, most of the older cards when foil look weird now. Good, that's what I wanted to see. I'm just going to sack it. That's fine. What do you got? Ah, Neheb. Now that Remora is going to be a bit of a pain, but okay. Really missing my aura shards right now. Feel like they probably get their Felwar Stone back. Or the Surveyor. Which they didn't use to draw land in the first place, which is weird. So I should probably kill his Suitor Priest. That feels like a good idea. 2, 3. But I won't be able to do much else then. I think I can go a turn. What? That's a weird attack. There's so many weird attacks this game. Oh, good. There we go. Now the Tribe Elder technically makes a mana with the Cradle, but it's usually correct in this deck to go and pull more mountains out. One thing to keep in mind with Hungering Hydra, it says whenever Hungering Hydra is dealt damage, put that many counters on it. It doesn't say instead, so I can't just block here and get 7 counters because it'll die. But I can just block with my Tribe Elder. Sack it. Hi, Silly Dead Clown. I'm actually recording for YouTube right now, so say hi to YouTube land. And to everybody in YouTube land, that's somebody in my Twitch stream who's chatting right now. No, I'm playing Marath, actually. This is a Marath Enrage deck. And I use Marath because specifically because Marath can trigger Enrage. Silly Dead Clown says, hi YouTube, sorry about the 10-hour mix of the SpongeBob thing. Apparently he has on his own YouTube, he must have a 10-hour mix of the SpongeBob theme or something. Don't think I've seen you on my stream before, Silly Dead Clown. I stream Commander every Thursday at 6 o'clock Eastern Time, and sporadically through the week I try and fit in other times and trying to get down to a proper schedule. And if you enjoy Commander, you should give me a follow and come watch me play some games. Hmm. So, on my turn, assuming my Fire Ants lives, I can get rid of the Suitor Ghoul. Like to maybe draw Ranging Raptor, or the one that draws cards this turn. Polyraptor or something like that would be a nice draw. So Silly Dead Clown, it says, I always feel so naked when I'm not playing blue. Don't know how you do it. My answer to that is, it's a challenge. It's the same thing with green when you're playing Commander, because green is really important for ramp. Green and blue are the two strongest colors for the most part in the format. Blue has all the most versatile answers and the best card draw. And green, Command Zone did a study, and they figured out what things are more likely to win games, and it was a significant increase in win percentage for the player who had the most land in play at the end of the game. So green and its ramp is also highly important. The blue, yes, I miss blue. I tend to find personally my personal wedge of preference tends to be Esper, blue, black, and white. But I also love more rockish builds, stuff like Junk and Golgari. Blue has a lot of ramp, actually. Most of it's artifacts, but there's other ways. Blue fixes its lack of ramp by drawing a buttload of cards. So it's more likely to hit its land drops than other colors. And having stuff like Trinket Mage. One, two, three, four, five. Yeah, that's true. Getting the boom pile. I hope they flip wrong this time. Yeah, they wiped the board earlier with a lucky flip on a boom pile. Spawn Poison's playing some junky cards. Well, that turns on Cabal Coffers. Hey Orcus. Hey Orcus, say hello to YouTube land. I'm doing a YouTube video today. Hey everybody in YouTube land. Orcus says hello. Actually should be streaming tonight. Like proper streaming and not just recording for YouTube. After I post this, I'll probably have lunch and then be back later. Are you sure you want to do that? You don't want to do that. You did that. Bye. So I hope the boom pile misses. Though in a way I don't mind. Problem with the boom pile though is that like this Revelark just goes and pulls stuff back. Yeah, that was a weird swing. Not gonna get the 3 mana from it. Hmm. That's 2 in a row. He succeeded on that. Holy crap. That's 2 boom piles he's got right in a row. It's making the boom pile look broken. It's possible this deck needs some graveyard recovery somewhere in it. Like a season's past. Yeah, good old MTGO RNG. Problem is that practically hands the game to Dr. Hank. Need to get some card draw coming. Did that first. Saves him gaining 1 life and me losing 1. What was that? Fletchling Markov. One problem with Marath is that you can't auto yield anymore when he's in play because you technically could theoretically pay 0, even though you actually can't. That's a pain. Ugh. Orcus just said, I just need to get Marath to 21 and life total won't matter. I got this. What I need to do is draw some cards. Orcus, this is actually the second game that I've recorded for this video. The first one we won pretty easily. I actually got a Ether Flash with Perforos and Polyraptor and just infinite comboed. But here, this game I just can't find the pieces. And too many boom piles. I just hope this turn isn't just Caltrops go. Oh, there goes the Emmett, what's his name? I think we're pretty dead here. Are we gonna get a third boom pile? That's funny. Uh, well, the Caltrops does nothing here. So I'm gonna wait. Tapping out just so I don't have to tap through everything. So that was a good showcase of what this deck can do, and also where its weaknesses are, though. I do need to find a room for Seasons Past in here, I think. I can say, out of the games I've played with this deck, this is the hardest time I've had getting card advantage. Hope he thinks to use his Arcbound Reclaimer first. Oh, how sad. I forgot about the stupid... Aw. Yep, that's game. I think, looking at this, I think snapping Sailback, maybe. I think snapping Sailback can become a Seasons Past. I think that's correct. Other than that, I'm happy. And I'm going to end the video here. Be sure to like and subscribe. And I'll try and provide more Commander content for you regularly. Catch me on Thursday night. 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time is usually when I start, and I stream for the night. I think I'll also be streaming this Friday. You can follow me at Atomic Monsters Twitch. There will be a link down in the description below, as well as to my Patreon. You guys all have a great day. And if there's any ideas you have for changes to make to this deck, or decks you'd like to see me cover, or ideas you'd like to see me cover, let me know, and I'll do my best. Thank you.